Hi there, this is Matt at State of Flux here with a review for Disney's Wish. This is the 100th anniversary release that Disney put out, 100 years of movies, and this is a film that is to celebrate all of them in some way. And some cynical reviewers will tell you that this is sort of like when Warner Brothers did Space Jam Legacy and just jammed all their IP into a single movie, cannibalizing their own works and stuff like that. And they might not be wrong, but if that is the case, this is the best case scenario of doing that. This isn't a bad movie, but it's also not great. Actually, some of the stuff that I think works best is when it's being self-referential in somewhat clever ways. If you're going to have a movie that's going to reference Sneezy the dwarf, rather than flat out putting Sneezy the dwarf in the movie, I like that they gave us a character that is evocative of Sneezy, and all of his friends clearly make up the seven dwarves. This film does that and is certainly a celebration particularly of those old original Disney films from the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs all the way through The Jungle Book that had the open book opening and stuff like that. This even includes that. Stuff like that I thought was kind of cool. However, the plot of this film is so incredibly generic, and I know it's generic by design because they're saying that all of those stories can live because of this story. Every time we wish upon a star, we are exploring strange new worlds and stuff like that. That is kind of neat. However, in going so basic with the plot, the film itself has no momentum whatsoever. And it just kind of hangs there for a long time before you get to the climax. And I like the sentiments the film ultimately ends with. And it's a good looking picture. I really like how it looks, and I think the voice work by Anna DeBose and Chris Pine are fantastic. Alan Tudyk actually has a role where he's not a squeaking, chicken like he did in Moana. So that was nice, but it's the plot that really sinks it, and I think you would have been able to move past some of the plot beats if the music had been able to soar. And with the exception of one song, which is repeated in variants about 2 to 3 times, 2 really important times, that one song that you hear in the trailers is fantastic. It's genuinely good, and I'm sure is going to be nominated for Best Original Song at year's end. That said, everything in between is spectacularly not great. And maybe I will end up eating my words on this. The last time I reviewed a Disney movie, the day I saw it was Encanto, and I said that everything about that movie is great, however, it really doesn't have any good or memorable music. Boy, was I wrong. So maybe that'll change, and this will be the next Frozen soundtrack, or Encanto soundtrack, but I really don't think it is. I think it has that one song that is genuinely fantastic, and I urge you to listen to it. Everything else is just kind of bland and boring, which is kind of what the movie ultimately ends up being an immersion in. That said, I do want to. I sound really negative on it, and I'm not that negative. It's a fine movie. It's just that it's only fine. I like that you have a villain that isn't malleable in the sense that you can kind of understand where he's coming from and all this kind of stuff. He's not a sympathetic villain. He is a straightforward, true classic Disney villain. And I like how his cape is evocative of the sorcerer's hat from the Sorcerer's Apprentice Fantasia thing. There's so much cool, neat stuff that the animators threw in there to really help elevate the material given. It's just the material is kind of lackluster. So yeah, there you have it. I think it's fine, and I think you should see it. And I think the only reason that this is going to be super noteworthy movie, and it's kind of a shame that their 100th anniversary film is just so fine, is because they've had a legacy that is so good, but they've had a year of misfires kind of across the board, with the exception of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Nothing that they've released this year has been a success in terms of money back on investment or creative endeavors of something interesting. You've had a bunch of movies that I think are fine. I like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania better than most. I thought Little Mermaid was okay. Certainly not bad. It's better than some of their other animated remakes. Haunted Mansion is not good. But Indiana Jones was alright, but possibly or probably the worst of its franchise. Yeah, I haven't seen the Marvels, so I can't speak to that. But largely, Disney hasn't had its strength. Even Elemental was pretty lackluster for Pixar standards. So I think in a year that is supposed to be the majestical 100th anniversary, this is the last nail in the coffin of the anniversary, and you're going to see a very specific divide and course correct in the next couple of years, or you're going to see the sinking of the ship. It's one of the two, and this movie I think will be the last thing kind of its 100th anniversary that people are going to kind of point to. It was supposed to have a huge opening this weekend, a surefire it will win the weekend, and right now the analysts are saying it's likely to open second, but based on the numbers that my movie theater is showing, I think it could even open in third place, which is shocking. But there you have it. That's speculation at this point. Did you see Wish? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. And please, squish the like button if you like this video, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.